Hello, my name is Kevin, and you're watching Learning Old Germanic Languages. In this video, we're going to talk about a subject which is something I thought about after making the video regarding Old Low Franconian and not Dutch. The video titled that. I'll link in this description below if you want to check that out. After I made that, I thought about the French. The word French itself is actually, dare I say, a palatalized doublet of Frank, because if we were to look back at history, that what we would call in ancient times Gaul was part of Francia. In fact, that's where the word France comes from, Francia. Kingdom of the Franks. In fact, in German, what's the word for France? It's Frankreich. Frankreich. So really, Frank Kingdom, or if you were to in English, it'd be Frankrick, Frankrick, or Frankrich. Yeah, so that would be okay for that. But anyway, but interestingly enough, the French language, should it even be called French? Is it really? The thing is, because French as we know it is a Latin derived language that it has its origins in a mixture of Gaulish and vulgar Latin, really bad Latin, to speak very bluntly about this. Those merged together. And then you have, the Frankish question, the Frankish element into it, which you have a lot of many loan words into this compiled, if you will, or mangled together, if I were to word it that way, mangled or menged. Oh man, I can't even speak tonight. Anyway, so you have this merged speech of Gaulish and Latin, well, vulgar Latin, really bad Latin, if you will. Well, speaking in context of what is proper Latin, right? So that together, mixed with the Frankish question, so you have a lot of loan words and whatnot. And someone told me many years ago that French is the most Germanicized Latin language, whereas English, just a comparison, as this guy told me, that English is as a Germanic language that is most Latinized. It's really interesting to think in those terms, because with French, it's a Latin-based language, right? It's not Germanic. It's Germanic by many loan words. If you were to look at modern French, and you have the Frankish, many words of that origin, and you got the Norman, North, the Scandinavian influence as well. But it's interesting that knowing the background history and whatnot, but this begs the question: what would the language be like if let's say the Franks that were in Gaul were to retain their language and whatnot? Well, the best of my knowledge, it would be something what we would know now as West Flemish, or the dialects in southern Netherlands that is like closest toward France, I believe. Maybe my European geography isn't that great right now. I'm probably embarrassing myself. Or what have you. So imagine, the Germanic languages, if you will, that are most geographically close to France, whatnot. So I would imagine. So let's say it would be, if I were to think back in time, it would probably look like something like Old Low Franconian. It would look like Dutch, West Flemish. It would look like that, just a different variation. Of course, you would have some Gaulish influence or what have you. It would be a Germanic language, but what would make it distinct from, let's say, the Frankish dialects in Germany or what have you, that in the French part you wouldn't have. I would think, this is just me mental speculating right now, you wouldn't have the high consonant shift. So I would think, maybe, I don't know, I could be wrong, and this is completely mental speculation here, like to imagine, if that part of Europe was Germanic speaking and not Latin speaking, or Celto-Latin speaking, or Gallo-Latin speaking, But it's interesting that the French call them French despite what their language is and whatnot. But that's like calling English like something else, like referring to the Romans, for example. It's like calling English Roman when it's a Germanic language, but having a lot of loan words from Latin, like audio, video, and all that. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. There's something to think about, really. Just knowing that the word French is another variant of the word Frank. It's just the difference is that French is the final part, the ch part, that's palatalized. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Something to think about, discussion and whatnot about, really more on the Franks and whatnot, and what influence they have and whatnot, and how they're pretty much, I'm about to say almost everywhere in Europe, but they're pretty prominent, especially in continental Europe and whatnot. All right. Yeah, that's more or less what I wanted to say. Yeah. So yeah, a little thing I want to say as well. It would look like the Germanic language in what would be in Gaul or what have you. I would speculate it would be called something like Old West Franconian, if that makes sense, and it would probably have more like sounds instead of sounds as you would hear in the the Franconian dialects of Old High German, or Franconian, or dare I say High Franconian, Old High Franconian. I just made up that label right there. I mean, it could be an authentic label, I don't know, but probably not. I just thought of it now. But where it did go through the high consonant shift, which Old High German dialects are known for. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, and if you really like the channel, please become a patron at my Patreon page down below. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.